Sculpting an aesthetic, Greek god marble-like chest does not necessarily require access to a gym nor a bench press. Rather, if you simply focus on mastering the following 3 calisthenic exercises, not only is carving a rugged, aesthetic chest a matter of time, but you can even achieve better long-term results with less injury risk. Another benefit, if like me, you like to train alone, you can train hard without needing a spotter. And lastly, but not leastly, you can do this workout anywhere you please, just right out of your backpack. Either you want to train at home, or you want to get a bit more outside when it's the weekend, or you have more time, or the weather allows. Specifically, all you'll need will be the following 3 items. Number 1 being a set of gymnastic rings. I never go anywhere without these. Number 2, a folding step stool that you can get with less than $15 or 13.5 euros from most hardware or department stores. And number 3, a sturdy backpack, which can be loaded with some extra weight if you're a bit more advanced or as you get stronger in the future. Now, in order to build a full and wide rugged chest, you want to make sure that your training hits all parts of your pectoral muscles, meaning the lower, middle, and upper chest, with exercises that favor each of these areas a bit more each time that you train. Reverse grip push-ups are definitely an underestimated push-up variation, and not only is it great for upper chest development, and not only is it an overall more challenging variation, but it is also excellent for shoulder health, as the reverse position opens up your shoulders and encourages external rotation, which is especially helpful if, like me, you are mostly a desk worker for the rest of the day. The best way to do these is using push-up grips in order to keep them wrist-friendly. So to get started, place your hands shoulder width apart, with your hand facing the opposite way than they normally do during classic push-ups. After that, lean mostly on your arms, as you should always do when you're doing push-ups. Lower your chest all the way down until you touch the floor without resting on it, and pause for a split second. After that, go up in an explosive but controlled manner. While performing this exercise, make sure you keep your elbows tucked close to your ribs, your core tight as if you're bracing for a light punch, and maintain your whole body straight like a plank, or even better, push your hips slightly above parallel. In terms of progressions, obviously you want to start by, first of all, mastering basic push-ups if you are a complete beginner, but once you can do 20 perfect form of those, start working on reverse grip push-ups. Step number 2, once you can do 20 of these, you can move to deficit reverse push-ups by doing them at a ledge. Unless you're working out at home and this is not a practical option, you can then move on to step 3. Before though moving to step 3, keep in mind that if you really lean hard on your arms and you focus on perfect form with a good mind to muscle connection, and again, if you can even do these at a deficit, doing them with grips on a ledge, then these are going to be super challenging, and it does take some time to move on to adding more weight. But once you're at that point, once you can do basically 15 perfect bodyweight reverse grip deficit push-ups, you want to keep progressing by adding more weight in your backpack and getting stronger across a rep range of 6 to 12 reps. Personally, especially if I'm combining some rocking with my workout that day, which I often like to do in the weekends, I like using weighted plates since these are more stable on your back, but also take less space in your backpack. Some other more inexpensive options to load your backpack can also be sand or rice bags, depending on how much extra weight you need and how much you can fit in your backpack. That being said, if you find your backpack sliding a little bit on the side this way when you're using bigger uneven objects, another thing you can do is use a cargo strap. Now, although these are great for overall chest development, when set up correctly, there's no better exercise for targeting the mid-chest with precision than Hey, quick break before we continue with the video. If you're interested in building an overall rugged physique and not just your chest, if you also are serious about putting in the work, if you are ready to take your diet to the next level as well, because training is one part, probably the 50% of the result, and the other 50% is putting in your body the right fuel. So if you're done hating the mirror in the morning, if you don't just want to look better but you also want to feel better, if you want to have more focus, if you want to be more productive and handle stress a lot better at work, or if you want to have even more energy after your work is over, with your kids be an even bigger goofball, or if you want to do other things after your day is over, after you're done working, and if you want to leave the guesswork to a professional who know what he's doing, who doesn't only walk the talk but has helped a ton of other people accomplish the same results, then you can always book a free consultation call by clicking on the link below. It's basically a Google form. You just fill it in. We arrange a call where we just hang and talk and see what are your goals, see if I can help you, if we're a good fit, and we can take it from there. So once again, link below, fill in the form, and let's chat. There's no better exercise for targeting the mid-chest with precision than the deficit ring push-up. So to get started, we want to first of all set up your rings properly. This means that the bottom where you grip your rings should be leveled with your stepping stool, where your toes will be leaning on. In other words, you want your body at a horizontal line and not declined, since that focuses more on the lower chest, or inclined, since that favors more the upper chest. Next, you want a neutral grip, meaning that your palms should be facing each other, and you want to lower your body and your chest between the rings, going below the level of your hands, which is the deficit part of the exercise. And once you can't go deeper, you want to pause at the bottom for a split second and then press back up explosively, but again, also smoothly. Lastly, as you approach the top, you want to bring the rings close to each other in order to maximize chest tension. Basically, when done correctly, you want your chest to feel stretched at the bottom and squeezed at the top. In terms of progressions, you obviously want to master basic deficit push-ups before doing these on the rings. So start with 20 perfect form of those. Number 2, once you can do that, move to 15 perfect bodyweight reps on the rings. And step 3, start adding more weight in your backpack. To summarize everything and the reason I love doing these on rings, the free movement of the rings here forces your mid-chest to stabilize and contract harder in order to keep your arms from drifting outward. The deeper you go, the more stretch and mechanical tension you create across your pecs, which are key drivers for chest development. And the more you bring the rings close at the top, the more you overall fatigue our targeted muscle, which in this case is the mid-chest. Finally, to build that lower pec shelf so your chest can visually separate from the rest of your body, ring dips are your go-to. I like to think of dips as the squat of the upper body, and not only are they excellent for overall chest and pressing strength, but when performed correctly with a slight forward lean, they are great for targeting, again, the lower pecs, kind of like the calisthenics version of a decline bench press. For that reason, I highly recommend placing your backpack in the front when you're doing these weighted. To get started with these, you want to get at the top position with your arms locked out and your legs crossed behind you, ankle on top of ankle. You want to lean your torso forward, remembering that this is what brings your lower chest in the spotlight. With your elbows tucked in, you want to lower yourself under control until you feel a good stretch in the chest. So once you reach the bottom, you want to briefly pause for a second, and once again press back up in a explosive but smooth and controlled motion, bringing the rings a bit closer at the top to fully contract your chest. Once again, when done correctly, your chest should feel stretched at the bottom and squeezed at the top. Now, if you're one of those people who for some reason can't handle dips, either because of shoulder pain or sternum pain, leave a comment below and I'll consider making a video about that in the future. In case you don't have extra weight and you want to keep training even more minimalist, you can always do RTO dips, although keep in mind that mechanical tension always produces superior results over overly complex technique, and since the rings are already challenging enough due to their instability, I would say that once you get strong enough, it's best to progress to weighted dips. Personally, I like to practice RTO dips during my warm-up for the mobility and playful aspect of it, but for my main sets, I always focus on loading more weight with perfect form and a strong mind-to-muscle connection. In terms of progressions and reps, step 1 is to start with 20 leg assisted dips, using as little help from your feet as possible. Step 2 is to be able to do 15 full bodyweight dips on the rings with perfect form. You can start with smaller range of motion here, so half reps if you can't do them fully, even though you are able to do 20 leg assisted ones. And finally, step 3, once you can do 15 perfect form full bodyweight dips on the rings, you want to progress to adding more weight and getting stronger across a rep range of 6 to 12 repetitions. Once again, the cool thing about these exercises, especially if you like to train alone like me, is that you can, first of all, train hard and go to failure anywhere you want, anytime you want, without needing a spotter or being afraid of injury. Not to mention how gymnastic rings, but also to an extent push-up grips, allow for a deeper stretch of the chest and more natural gripping and angles for healthier wrists, elbows, and shoulders. This way, you keep risk of injury as low as possible, which allows you to train hard in the long run, which is what always produces the best kind of results. That was all for today. Let me know if you're enjoying this backpacking series. If you haven't seen the previous episode, make sure you do. I'll link it below. Let me know if you want me to do more of these videos on different muscle groups. If you're interested in personal coaching, you can always fill in the form again below in the top in comment. And until next time, keep on training. Every now and then, get your wife a real flower. She's going to appreciate it even more.